Hello! Welcome to episode 17 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
Every week, Stevie Wildcard and I, with the exception of last week, but most weeks, Stevie Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to sucker punch, full roundhouse kick any kind of trouble that we have in the face and just get stuff done in the world. This time we're trying to make a semi-autobiographical time travel graphic novel musical, which sounds as complicated as it is. So I think we're doing okay so far. What do you think?
Oh yeah, we're doing great. And I think you did pretty great without me last week, I have to say.
I'll tell you what happened. So last week, Steven was sick. So how are you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling much better. It was just like a little stomach bug from our house. It wasn't like the vid or anything like that.
Yeah.
My youngest was sick, and I don't know. I think I had caught it like midday or something from her because like it felt like the life was just sucked out of me. And I just didn't want to get out of bed. We all just lounged as a lazy family in our bed, like a pride of lions. We just fell asleep in our room.
Just like Charlie Bucket's family from Willy Wonka. Just living in the bed.
And then someone offered me some, a ticket to a chocolate factory. I just bounced right up. I said, screw that podcast, but I'll go to that chocolate factory.
Exactly. Yeah, that really, I think, I'm sure that enough people hate the Grandpa Joe, but it's true though. It is pretty true that he was just laying in bed with the others and then suddenly
such a jerk.
Just reinvigorated. Like all of the life comes back to him. Oh wait, there's an opportunity to do something. I'm not going to let you spend time with your family, like your parents. Your parents do not get to go to the Wonka.
Your dad works hard every day. He doesn't need a vacation.
He doesn't need a vacation whatsoever. Your mom's just slaving over this hot soup every single day. The same soups.
It looks like water soup. Did you ever notice that? It didn't look very tasty.
I'm not sure what they were eating. I imagine that Willy Wonka is feeding the people something. I think that he was secretly a king. It had to be a secret monarchy situation because he had that whole factory. Clearly, he was a billionaire. He had technologies that he
was the Jeff Bezos of the Willy Wonka's universe.
Absolutely,
that's what he was.
That's what he was. So I'm imagining that he was feeding the people. I think it was probably chocolate soup. But they didn't know it.
That's why they were all sick. They were sick with type 2 diabetes in the bed. They were all just dying.
Absolutely what it was.
All because of the Wonka.
Yeah, so we solved Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Speaking of water, though, looking bad, on the opposite side of that spectrum, on water looking really good.
Okay.
Space Jam. When they're drinking the special stuff. Yeah. Dude, that is some of the most appetizing or delicious looking water I've ever seen. I love water. I drink water most of my day, but
there was some special stuff in there.
Some special stuff.
Yeah, there was a magic
in that water. He says it was just water, but they obviously they were.
It worked.
He put something in there, right?
Okay, you know what? Maybe placebo is delicious. Okay, so last week Steven was out. I was terrified at first. Okay, I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to do any kind of video at all, and I didn't want to put that on you, so I asked if you could, and you said you'd try. So when I recorded the thing that I recorded, I didn't know what you were going to be able to send me, or if you were going to send anything. So I was my plan was to use old footage of you and freeze you right at the beginning, and then just move on from there. But since you did end up sending me some pretty funny stuff, I was I need to use some of this. And I tried to cut it in and make something out of it, but it was hard because I didn't have myself reacting to you coming back because I didn't know to do that, so.
No, dude, it played off like almost like any radio show that has a funny soundboard.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm gonna be pretty upset at you if you don't utilize some of these as a soundboard option for things in the future. The hell yeah.
That was
definitely needs to be used.
That one that made me laugh. In the thing that made me laugh the most, I didn't even really get to use was that one. Okay, I was gonna use that one more, but I realized that it was sucking the energy out of the episode, and I was but it's so good. It made me laugh because I was it made me of course it seemed like I was making fun of myself putting that in there as much as
I think it's what it is. We love self-deprecating humor. That's our bread and butter, baby. That's how we got through our high school years. That's how we did what we did. So
it's so funny. But my favorite was
I know I need to watch it. I can't believe I haven't watched it yet. Like, I left that ambiguous on purpose, but I was talking about The Mandalorian because I still haven't seen any of season 2. But it's just so funny how you applied it to things that I've definitely seen.
I know.
It's great.
I thought that would be funny to do because obviously you've seen Gremlins and
Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah,
and Claus. But anyway, so that was a kind of fun episode. I hope people. I don't know how the people who are just listening to the podcast would perceive that. I hope it was enjoyable, or if not, you can skip that one, and sorry. That was so we did our best. Hopefully that won't happen too often. That was our first time in 16 episodes, so that's not too bad. And
I promise one of these days I will show the full man cave and commit to it. It's not even a man cave. Man cave, it's the nerdiest cave. Hell yeah.
So you were sick this week. Did you end up getting anything done?
No, because like I said, we hosted for our family too for Christmas, and then Christmas Eve we went to her grandparents. So I've had a busy week. I failed completely.
Pulled an Anthony. I got it. Okay.
I pulled an Anthony LaFusi. I'm not sure if I want to.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, people know who you are.
Yeah.
But anyways, completely failed. But like I said, I am going to commit to that plan of 3 pages come the new year. So I'm going to really try to push through this book once, and it should be easy, especially through the meat and bones because of the repeat panels and things like that. So, yeah.
I got some writing done. I sent it over to you. What did you read it? You read something?
I did. It was excellent. I really enjoyed it. You like I said, it feels like you punched up some of the like the earlier narrations, but then you've added to the and I can see that for like the frog boiling and things getting punched up a little bit more too. But it's great right now. The concept's there. What you're trying to push there is there. It's good.
Yeah,
and I didn't know that about frogs, and that's pretty awesome.
Okay, so what Steven's referring to is there's a fable. I don't really even know if I like calling it a fable, but I read it as a fable. But it's that if you put a frog in water, a pot of water, and you incrementally raise the heat, the frog will adapt to the temperature rather than jumping out of the pot. I've also read since then that it's apocryphal, or not apocryphal, but it's like it's not necessarily true that it's a frog. Most frogs probably would jump out, depending on the water. But I guess there is some evidence that it can happen, or some frogs do that to an extent. But it's still like the theme is there. The idea, the idea of
you can still use a fable to explain something. I mean, that's
and I wrote in the writing that like it might not even be true for frogs, but it's definitely true for me.
It was good. No, I enjoyed it. Like I think the narration's going to make a lot, like, because like when you send the dialogue's great. But there's also like very limited dialogue in the early pages because it's you putting Atlas or your son down in the comic, and just like you basically mourning the loss and packing your stuff. So there would be no dialogue there. Right. But the narration, I can just see how much it's going to punch up those panels now too.
So I did some stuff. I know this week you did finish something else.
We did finish. This is a collab for sure, Anthony, because I like Anthony's colors on it a lot better. But Anthony and I finished Van Helsing.
Yep. So
Van Helsing.
So Steven drew this amazing Van Helsing that we pitched a couple of episodes ago. It's the vampire story that's very Seussian in nature, and if we could find a way to get around any sort of legalities and issues with that, and maybe we can get away with like a fair use parody situation and make a mini comic of Van Helsing.
It's like a 10-page, like a 12 page just vampire slaying.
Yeah, just single issue.
Awesome. I'm saying like maybe we just like drop the H off the Whoville sign, things like that. I think we could worm around it.
Yeah,
people in the Twitterverse, if you know anything about copyright law and parody and what we can and cannot do with this idea, please let us know.
True. Anyone who's
we do not have this knowledge.
Good, yeah. And honestly, it's not only that we don't have that knowledge, but we don't have time to look this stuff up, and we are just really bad at that stuff. So anyway, it would be nice to do that at some point. Not that that's our next project, because Steven and I have several projects lined up, or at least several projects in like our inventory of potential ideas. Okay, so our idea, or at least what we've been discussing, is that come January, Steve and I are both going to pitch 2 ideas to the podcast. So 4 ideas in total we're going to pitch that we both have come up with and both enjoy, that we kind of love equally. And our plan is to pitch those ideas to you and let the audience vote on what we're going to work on next. So when you hear these pitches, whatever idea that you prefer, that you think is interesting to you, or that you'd just like to see us do, or maybe you'd like to see us suffer through, then you'd have the opportunity to vote. And we have decided, like, we concluded that we are going to just commit to whatever wins that vote. So that's what we're going to do. And we're both excited about it. We think it's a fun way to choose. And Steve and I just really are excited to continue to work together. Okay, so speaking of the new year coming, do you usually come up with resolutions?
Yeah, for Tina and I, it's typically almost always the same thing, though. It's always like, weight loss, things like that. When we quit smoking cigarettes, which was, I think, 4 years ago now, that wasn't even a New Year's resolution. But no, and like we stick to them, but it's not really like a tradition we really follow. We really like execute every year. Mm-hmm. I think we're like majority of America, where we say we're going to do something and then we just fail by February, and then we're
Yeah, there's a whole thing in Hamlet about that. But yeah, it's true. It's just you get all that passion behind it, and then once it's gone, it's like, no, you forget all about it. And,
one little slip up, and it's like, I'm just going to tumble down this hill.
Yeah, of course. Normally, it's okay. So it's like weight loss and stuff. And when you quit cigarettes, it wasn't a New Year's.
No, it was actually, I think it was just an August day. It's a day in August.
Day. I guess every day is the start of a new year for that day. But
Tina quit, and then I was just like, I feel bad continuing smoking because I know I'm going to be this like constant thing of temptation if I don't quit smoking too. So I was just like, so we quit smoking. It's been over 4 years since I've had a cigarette. So
yeah, that's amazing.
This guy over here used to suffer because he's never been a smoker.
He
used to just ride in my car. I'd just be smoking and like, yeah, he's a good friend.
It was. I love you. I've always loved you. Yeah, I can't stand smoking. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can agree, and even a lot of smokers are still like just would love to be able to like shake it, and just haven't found it in themselves yet for whatever reason. And that's whatever. Everyone has their time. Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, smoking is. I've never done it. Both my parents smoked growing up, and it was just like being in the car with them and like getting hit with ash. I remember them rolling the windows down and getting hit with ash in my face.
My clothes when I was a kid, because my mom and dad were smokers. My mom and dad still are smokers. My clothes, I'd go to school and like kids would be like, "You smell like smoke." I'm like, "I know, man. I don't even smoke cigarettes. My parents do." And it was like this whole thing, like. Yeah. So yeah. We didn't want to do that to our kids. So we
exactly. Yeah. I remember when I was in middle school, I had more than one teacher take me aside and ask me if I smoked cigarettes and tell me that it's not okay to come to school smelling like cigarettes and, it's suspicious. And I was like, not only do I not smoke, I will never smoke. I'll show you. Now here I am showing them.
He stuck to it. He shook his fist and stuck to it.
Yeah. So, like the best grandpa. No, but yeah, I've never been a smoker. But I've kind of always enjoyed New Year's resolutions, but I generally come up with like stupid ways of trying to feel better about myself and improve myself throughout the year anyway. Like I'm ridiculous. Like a lot of these books are like notebooks and like things I do where like I write bullet points every day, or like I write notes to myself and I'm like, this is what you need to do, future Anthony. And then future Anthony reads it and he's like, haha, past Anthony, nice try, sucker, and like
past Anthony always putting all the work on my damn shoulders.
Exactly, every time. So it's just like creating all these bullet points to dodge all throughout the day where I'm like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. Past Anthony's the sucker. I'm not doing any of it. That's future Anthony's problem. But when New Year's Day comes, so I created a few things that I'd like to do this year. Like, so did you come up with anything this year that you want to do?
Yes. Like I've been saying in the last couple episodes of the podcast, one of the things I'm going to resolve, I am going to be pushing 3 pages per week is my goal. Yeah, I want to get this comic done. We're aiming for the March 4th for the Kickstarter, like we've discussed. So I want to have, for me, I understand we can start the Kickstarter way before we're even done. Right. But if we're going to finish this concept completely, we need to get the book done. But then we also still kind of need to write this short little EP for it, too. So we still need to write the music behind it, too, kind of, right? I mean, so like... If we go that far, if we go for the full concept of what we're going for, so we have to get the comic done, then write the music, then figure out a way to like kind of get that somewhat semi-professionally recorded and then push out some sort of package with the comic. Because I think it would be cool, depending on how much, energy we can get behind this. It'd be cool to do things like an actual vinyl print or something like that, as like as a Kickstarter, goal or whatever. It would be cool
as a
to
reward,
do
like a package.
As a reward, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to do that. My plan, as far as like the timing of creating the music and such, is I plan on having the entire thing written by probably mid-January. I'm giving myself to the end of January, and then February I'm going to work only on music. That's my plan.
Awesome.
Yeah, so February, and the way Steve and I have written songs for a long time, for the most part, is Steven has a lot of cool riffs and stuff that like we try to work on also, but for the most part, what ends up happening is I'll come up with a very basic skeleton of a song, and I'll write some lyrics, and I'll send that to Steven, and then he will work his Stevie Wildcard magic on it and make it good.
I'm really I'm such a details guy, so like. Yeah. I'm horrible at meat and bones. Like I'm horrible at like structuring anything, but I can totally fluff up anything, So it's actually a pretty sweet little system that we have, because he's actually a really good songwriter when it comes to like he is. Don't let him lie to you, but he's actually a pretty good songwriter, and so me being able to just write on top of it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Oh gosh, did you see the improvised Christmas song last week?
Yes, I did. It was fun though.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I think my favorite part is Country Anthony's voice. It's such a funny. It's so funny voice. It's a funny voice you tap into.
I don't know why it happens, and it just exists. It just is. Like I'm not. I think that's what makes it work, is that there's no work behind it. It just happens. And I initially didn't mean for it to be a country song. The reason I even said country in the beginning is because I accidentally just went into that. I recorded two country songs, or two songs. Mm-hmm. The first one ended up being like a country song about my son. The second one ended up being a country song about Christmas.
Part of it, and then part of that one verse even sounded like it sounded like I always get these mixed up, so my apologies for any like indie music lovers. Is it Moldy Peaches in Juno? You're a part-time lover and a full-time friend. It kind of had like that vibe for it. One brief little moment. I'm like, this is funny. Reminiscent of Juno.
That was a pretty good soundtrack, though.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it's like cheesy.
It was a pretty awesome movie too. I like Juno.
It was. I liked it too.
What's J. Jonah Jameson's name? What's the actor?
Simmons.
Yeah, like he's awesome in Oz. Awesome in Juno. He's like the ideal father character, like this, like really cool. Like he's a jerk, but he's also really loving and like nurturing, and he's such a cool guy. I like him. I like his voice. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, he's a great voice. Is he coming back as JJ?
Yeah.
Is he? I think so.
But he's almost like they're going like an Alex Jones route with him, where he's going to be like the conspiracy theorist type of. They're going for that. That's what it seems like they're going for.
That'll be interesting. I guess everyone in the whole world is going to be in that movie. So yeah. In the new Spider-Man movie.
That's crazy.
It's going to be.
The new Guardians isn't coming out until 2023.
Whoa, I did not.
Yeah, I think it's 2023 or 20. No, it was 2020. I was like, man, 2023.
2023 is going to hit us. It's just going to show up out of nowhere. It's going to we're going to go outside in 2021, and 2023 is going to be like, hi!
Hey! Dude, I saw a meme today. It was like, you're wearing a jacket and you reach into the pocket to pull out a mask. You chuckle thinking about that crazy year. Then you grab your machete and fight your way to the stick to the shadows to avoid the cannibal horde. It's like, dang it. He's probably right.
Dang it. If it's right, what are we going to do? What are comics going to be like?
Oh, man. It's going to be cave drawings, buddy. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be etching stuff on the wall.
What I think is, I think we're going to create a library of individually created, like, actual physical art that we're going to rent out to people when they come. Like, no actual sales, renting it out to families and groups, and then they're going to have to bring it back, like old Blockbuster. Like a library, like a literal library.
What if we call it Blockbuster? We just take the name. I mean, who's going to sue us? Currency's gone. Lawyers are dead.
And the reason we call it Blockbuster is because if you don't bring our books back, there's no late fee. We bust your head with a block. Is what happened.
Blockbusters! That's our theme song. I don't know if you guys got follow along. It's quick.
Yeah, sorry, Blockbuster. Not only are we taking it, we're improving it. We're making it better.
Can we take like the Crossfire theme song? Blockbuster, you get caught on the block.
Yes. It has to be that. So now I'm actually looking forward to the apocalypse. This is why friendship is magic. But as far as resolutions are concerned, we are going to launch a Kickstarter for our book, which is going to be great. That's plan one for us as a team. I'm going to also punch up finally my novel and run a Kickstarter for that as well at some point next year. I want to plan out exactly before the new year. I'm going to try to create some sort of like rough monthly guide for, all of this ridiculous ambition. But so it doesn't, I don't want to just like say it and then forget it, like a set it, forget it dream journal, like, what do they call those, dream boards? Like I'm a vision board. I'm gonna make a vision board, but I actually want to write all these plans out because I plan on publishing my novel, publishing our book. So I have my own solo comic that I haven't been really working on because I've been focusing on other things, but I've drawn 3 issues of it, so I should put that out at some point too, at least one of the issues. But I'd like to just put out all 3, honestly.
Just make it like a 3-part, like an arc almost.
Yeah, I mean, it basically is. It should be the whole. I'm going to tell the whole story in about 9 issues, is what I planned. So it's just gonna be like 3 issues for the Act 1, 3 issues Act 2, 3 issues Act 3. It's done. It's just like the end of the story. I can move forward. I'd like to finish that, or at least I want to get some of that out. Hopefully at least these 3 issues next year. So our book, novel, those 3 issues, and then whatever the next project is that we're working on, that's definitely going to be very important. I'm really excited to see what people, which idea people like, or like what.
We can give them like a little taste. The titles of the projects I'm pitching are going to be Scavengers and the Clans, although the Clans is the working title, but those are the 2 that I will be pitching.
Okay, and I'm going to be pitching the Absentees, right? But I kind of like the name Come What May for the Absentee.
Okay, we'll call that Come What May.
Come What May, and Deathless is the other one. Which
is a pretty cool one too.
I love that title.
I think people are going to vote for that just because of its name.
The title is cool. I like the name.
Damn branding over here. Brandon Stark over here. I don't even know why that's. I don't even know why I said that. He's the king or something.
So I plan on doing a bunch of publishing this year. I also have like exercise goals. I'm gonna exercise 4 days a week. That's my plan. Like I'm not gonna go 7 days a week. Like it's not gonna be my whole life, but 4 days a week, I'm gonna get in at least half an hour to an hour of exercising. Like just actual lifting weights, actually trying to actively do something to make this better. I think like I also want to learn how to juggle, because it's one of the few physical things that I feel like most people could do if they practiced.
Mm-hmm. And you're good enough looking to where if you juggled, people wouldn't think you're creepy. They just think, oh, this good-looking guy for some reason knows how to juggle. And they're going to tell you how great at juggling you are.
I hope so. That's all I want.
Oh my God, you're so good at juggling. Like
that's what I want. Like, I want to amass more traits that people can be like, oh, that's what he's known for. He's the juggle. Because I don't want a snake. Like I can't be the snake guy. I don't want. Like, I'm not gonna
no one wants to be the snake guy.
I don't want to be.
If you're the snake guy and you listen to the podcast, so you're cool.
Yeah, we like you, snake people. I'm just saying that I don't want my identity to be a snake guy. I'm okay with being.
You know whose identity is going to become Snake Girl?
Who?
My sister Sarah is going to be the proud owner of like a yellow boa of some sort come Tuesday. She's been like selling it to my family that we all need to start loving snakes because she's got a snake now, and like she's full on snake person now. So my sister is a snake. I love
Sarah so much.
She's such a wild.
Okay,
she's the real wild card. Yeah. She's Sarah wild card for sure.
Can I tell you that like Steven's sister, first of all, let me just say that one day I'm gonna end up marrying Steven's sister because I love her and she's the best. I love Sarah. I think about Sarah's laugh once a day. Like I think,
or when she goes, she does that little funny laugh.
Dude, the funny laugh is the thing I think about. Like I was thinking about that at work the other day, where it's like, I don't know why this occurred to me, but it's just like someone walked by and they looked creepy. And I was like, oh, nothing would be creepier. And I was like, oh, wait, if you had Sarah's laugh suddenly, like, it would be...
It's my sister Sarah. Okay, so she's thin though. She's tall because my family were a bunch of we always make the joke. My sister Rachel's like the runt of the litter, and she's like 5'8" or 5'9" or something. But so Sarah's like 5'10", 5'11". So she's like an Amazon. She's tall, and then remember the joke she had about the want to end up on the back? Like if you cross her, she gets a tattoo of your dead. Like basically you died. She gets a tattoo of your face on her back.
Yes,
that was a good running joke.
Yeah, Sarah's the
want to end up on the back.
Gosh, but so she's getting a snake, huh? Sarah's the snake.
Yeah, Sarah's gonna become a snake woman. That's funny, snake guy. But yeah, so you're not gonna be snake guy. You're gonna be juggle guy.
I'm gonna be juggle guy, or like I'm hoping I'm ostrich guy at some point. Like that's
my thing, Anthony. I feel like
I think we're both gonna have ostriches, Steve. Okay, fine.
I'm gonna be ostrich men.
Maybe our comic book company should have just been ostrich men.
No, because then it would invoke images of men becoming ostrich, like were ostriches.
Okay, Steven, now we're just going to pitch a new comic book character here.
It's like, I just imagine like your head doesn't become the ostrich head just bursts out of your mouth, and like your mouth like folds open like Tim Burton style, and like becomes like the body.
I want to see it. I want to animate it. I want it to be a movie.
We need to meet some animators. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's just so time consuming, or else we would already have animated movies. That's what it is. So we have a few questions from Twitter. We're on Twitter at twitter.com/wehaveissuespod. You can ask us questions at any point, and we'll at some point we'll probably talk about them on the podcast here. So we have a question. It's Michelle Egan 84 asks, my question is, if you could be any superhero, villain, anti-hero, etc., who would you be and why? From movies, TV, comics, whatever, legends, all fair game. If you could be any hero, villain, anti-hero, etc., who would you be and why? Okay.
So you ask the question and get the answer first. I see how this is.
No. I'm thinking. I was actually going to ask a secondary, like
a sub question.
Yeah, sub question.
1A.
Or like it's more like a criteria question. When you say have to want to be that character, do we get all of the character's abilities as ourselves, or are we living that character's lives? She didn't specify, so like.
So I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's like this like a fusion of like, here's Steven, but he completely looks like takes over the memories, so he has both sets of memories, maybe.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would still remember your past life, and people would believe you.
Okay. Huh.
I say those are the rules we've set. I say you gain everything you would, because I almost feel like you need the knowledge of the character. I think in the lens of Dragon Ball, like there's body changing that happens in Dragon Ball, and one of the side effects of the body changes that happens is the villain that took over doesn't know how to use Goku's body.
Right. Okay.
Because Goku knows how to use Goku's body, so we need their memories to learn how to utilize the things that they do. So I think you absorb them and become like a new being that's them, but you. But
also as you. I think the interesting part about that is also that our character and like our consciousness would kind of give us a super benefit with certain characters. Characters like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, who is basically ultimate power and can do just about anything, exists in all times at once, and can also transcend space and time and make things disappear, reappear, make himself reappear, multiply. He has basically every power. He's incredible, except for his ridiculously myopic, like, not myopic, but like he's omniscient, so he becomes robotic and like indifferent, and his apathy is inhumane and would never work. No one would actually want that. However, if you fuse that with whatever this is, it might be kind of cool.
It might work, but would what he's become of you, basically?
See, that's that's why I was asking, because like I wouldn't want to be him.
Would it just overpower you?
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
All right, let's just assume that your personality is strong enough to overwrite anything that you would still be able to ground yourself in morality then.
Right, okay,
in this definition of it, like your human definition of morality, you would be able to ground even this multi-dimensional understanding.
Okay, yeah, because, okay, let's just say you want to be Magneto, right? Do you have to be villainous, or like do you have to want to kill all humans? You know?
Could you alter his flow?
Yeah, do you have to be genocidal?
No, I would assume her question's more or less, even if it's a villain, you can pick that to become something that you love. Right. I'm assuming is where she's operating from. She's probably not operating under the lens of, well, now you're a villain, but more or less, like, if you like a villain, you can take over their persona.
Okay.
So my character, by the way,
that's what
just because of sheer elegance, and I know he's overrated to some extent. He's very overrated, especially for our generation. But like, dude, nothing will change. Nothing messed with me more as a child than when Sephiroth came down and shanked Ares from behind. Like, just and like Sephiroth is just like one of the coolest designed villains of all time. He's got like a 12-foot blade, long silver hair. This one-winged angel has the one huge like black angel wing coming out of his back. Can summon crazy magic powers. He's beautiful. Like I mentioned, he's beautiful. Like that's. I would want to become Sephiroth. I would want the long badass hair, the long badass sword, the black trench coat, all that cool stuff. But I would be nice.
I would be
nicer off.
Oh my god. Not Steve Roth. Nicer off. That's a good answer. I don't know who I would be. Because like I'm trying to think of how I decide. Like, do I decide based on like a power that I want the most? Do I decide based on like the world I want to live in? Because are we living in their world? Yeah, but of course you'd want cool powers. You know, like who doesn't want cool powers? I want cool powers now. You know,
and see, mine's also a good pick. Because Sephiroth is like, he's strong, man. He like he summons like that meteor at the end. I mean, it's been a while since I played 7, but. He was, and then like if you ever played Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, he's the hardest boss. He's an optional boss in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And I'm sure he's probably, I haven't played 3 far enough in, but I'm sure he's in 3 also. But he's always so insanely difficult. And like he has this awesome orchestra theme, and like he's just cool. Madman? I mean, he's kind of like a downgrade, right?
He's
basically,
cool, but he would just be like me, but a little more athletic. And slightly more psychic. But I don't. Well, I'm thinking of like what kind of adventure I'd want to go on, because I imagine like I wouldn't be living the life I'm living now. So I you know, like when you're thinking of yourself being Niceroth, you're not thinking like, oh, I'm going to abandon these children. It's a completely different world, you know. Because I'm kind of thinking someone like someone who is like Silver Surfer or something, like someone who could travel through worlds and see the, you know, the various types of like realities and also just have fun. But I mean, he's also stuck as being the Herald of Galactus, and for the most part, you know, which I guess he obviously breaks free of that, and then he's very boring, and I don't want that. So I don't know. It's so tough, dude. Like it's so tough to think of like who I'd want to be. I'm gonna say Master Shake.
I said it.
So I just want to be Master Shake all the time, mostly so I can hang out with Meatwad and just have a bestie. And no,
Master Shake was a good character though.
Yeah, he was, dude. Oh god, he's such a good character. That show was amazing. It's just like perfect characters. I don't know who I'd be, because it's really hard to not be super boring and just say like either Dr. Manhattan or like a Superman or like someone who's just like invulnerable or I'd be the Tick. Not invulnerability, that would be fun.
Wolverine's a good pick, but
see, I wouldn't want. Yeah, but
you don't want that. Like,
I don't want him infecting me. You know, like I don't want that mentality. You know, like that's part. I mean, part of my New Year's resolution is I want to be more positive for me. I still want to make like jokes and be myself, but like I want to actually be more optimistic, because I've been kind of like treading the water of 2020 the way everyone else has, and like letting it like spill into my mouth a little too much, you know, or like
it tastes bad, boy.
It's bad. It's not good, and like it's drowning me a bit, you know. Like it's not nothing just like devastating, nothing that's ruined me as a person, but I do feel a little worse dispositionally, you know. Like I feel like I could be, or I have been better, and I want to be better. So I want to do that. So I don't want to be Wolverine. I also don't want to be Superman, you know. Like I Green Lantern would be fun. I think Green Lantern. I think
that's
I'm gonna
a good one. I can see you going.
I think I should be Green Lantern. Because I could really use all of my stories and like all the characters, all the creativity that I have, and create at my will, basically anything using the ring. And I could also travel through space and do whatever I wanted, which is pretty neat. Yeah, I'm gonna go Green Lantern. I'm gonna say I'd be
Green Lantern's good.
So that's not a bad answer. That's good.
Let's do another question.
Paige asks, can you tell us more about your solo comic? And does Steven have any solo projects? My solo comic that I've been working on is called Bullet and the Beast. It's about a sort of stoic female assassin who one night when she's going to take out her target, her mark, she kills this man, and then as she turns to walk away, he wakes up and transforms into a werewolf, and it turns out he's a werewolf. It's in a world in which she had no idea werewolves exist, so it's a surprise. She doesn't suddenly have silver bullets or anything, so the wolf lunges forward and attacks her, ends up basically tearing at her chest and neck. She escapes because she's a pretty awesome badass assassin. She ends up escaping, but she's nearly killed. Because she was bitten, she then becomes a werewolf, and she has to hunt the werewolf that bit her. She meets this silly undead mortician named Terry, who's also in my novel, and he kind of shows her the ropes of the her new afterlife, so to speak, as she tries to find the werewolf that changed her. So it's going to be fun. I've created three issues so far. I think they're pretty good. The art's getting better as I go. I haven't worked on it in a while, though, so now I'm probably rusty again. I have to get back to that at some point. So you haven't worked on any comic stuff by yourself, have you?
No, the one idea I even had, and we're going to be pitching later this month, I guess I could throw out there that back in the day I had this it wasn't even a joke idea, but it was this concept for this Reaper named Maimon. It was basically a mixture of the name Matt Damon and then his villain was Bethlick, if you remember. But it was basically just it was this loose concept. It was basically just because I like to draw this Reaper character in a very stylized way. So the idea that the drawing came before the idea. So I drew this Reaper character, oh, he's pretty cool looking. And I basically came up with this loose, each Reaper has a special gift. There's a Reaper Academy in hell, and they're all teaching, they're all training, and then basically the main villain little Nicky's hell, basically freezes hell and tries to take over from the absorb all the souls. Maimon's the only Reaper that's outside of the gates when it transpires, so he has to go around and collect souls on Earth before they go to him, so he can hopefully muster up some power to launch a counterattack. It was this loose small idea I had a while ago that never really came up with anything. It was just more I'll see if I can find an old drawing of them so Anthony can throw it up, but it was more or less just a cool little concept I drew that I really liked and then rolled with it.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun idea. I remember you drew it on a couch at one point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Remember that at a house? There was in a garage. I remember you drew the main character on a couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
because I basically got him down. Have you ever seen any good cartoonists? When they'll go to draw Billy and Mandy, or they just have this unique. I basically had broken Maimon down to shapes, and I was just able to draw him instantaneously, within less than a minute, because I just knew his character.
Well, I guess what we're working on next is Maimon. So, but yeah. So that's you have that, and then you have the clans idea, and that's it was a solo project, and we're gonna end up working on it together at some point, probably. So she also said, if you guys could have any superpower, what would it be? Which we already kind of answered, I think, right?
Basically.
Let me see. And she said,
Iceman's got some crazy powers, though. Just putting it out there. Yeah. If Iceman's evil, Iceman becomes ridiculously powerful. Remember Age of Apocalypse Iceman and Uncanny X-Force? When he came over, he
he can freeze the water.
It's crazy.
In the body if you wanted to.
Yeah, the moisture in the everything. It's crazy.
Air. Yeah, imagine freezing all the moisture in the air around someone's head. And then
I was thinking about Elsa, though. I was watching Frozen, and when she decides that it's time to make the snow to go away, she just completely makes it vanish, right? Yeah. So is that only snow she summons? Or is that any cold? Can she go to the polar ice caps basically and melt everything instantly and destroy the world?
If she has power over the ice cap, she probably could just
but if she makes it disappear, because the snow doesn't turn into water in the movie, could she solve our global warming crisis by melting the ice caps without having them melt and flood the earth? Essentially,
that's true.
Could she just make them disappear all completely?
So she's an even greater hero, is what you're saying.
I'm still thinking Iceman's stronger than Elsa. I think Elsa's Elsa's a wild god, and Iceman's straight up alpha. What was they called? Like, what do they call those alpha level mutants or omega level mutants? I can't remember. They have like a term for like the Phoenix, and Iceman's one of them. Magneto's one.
Yeah.
Where their powers are just so insane that like. But
so
yeah,
that's what you want, huh?
Iceman powers, ultimate power. Yeah. To be nicer.
Nice.
So this week, I'm gonna be honest with you. The rest of this week's looking pretty stacked on time. So I don't know what I'm gonna be able to accomplish this week. Just looking, because not only do I have New Year's Eve coming up, New Year's Day, which is at my mom's. After we go to my mom's for breakfast, we're going to like a little staycation on the beach. So we're renting a hotel for like a night. Wow. So I'm taking the family. We're going to be spending all day on the beach on Saturday. So like those Thursday, Friday, Saturdays are my 3 main days to work on stuff. Those are gone this week. So I'm probably not going to accomplish much of anything. I'm going to try because I want to get something done.
3 pages on the beach. Got it. That's what you're going to do. Sorry, Tina. Yeah.
But come the new year, come the new year, I do plan to work on 3 pages a week once everything's outside of this holiday scheduling, which should have been amazing, but it's 2020 and you know what this year did to all the holidays. So
yeah. Yep. So, I mean, this week is going to be a big week for me. I'm going to write as much as possible. Okay, so it's been rough working retail, and I just decided to take a few days off next week. So I took a few days off from work, and my son's going to go with his mom. So I have 2 days off with him, and then 2 full days with no work and just no parental responsibility. So that's 2 days where I'm just going to get to write. You know, I have nothing to do but write, and that's going to be great. So I should be pretty close to finishing the book by the end of this week. I'm going to try. It'd be great if I could finish it by the new year. That would be fantastic. I'm giving myself to the end of January to finish the book anyway, but I'm going to try my best to finish this week and just see what happens.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my plan. That way next week when you fail, I can say I finished the book. And
here's the finished book, you jerk. Now go get some pages drawn.
Exactly. No, so it's going to be interesting watching. By the way, I have no expectation of you finishing 3 pages a week. That's going to be insane. If you get 1.5 pages done, I will applaud you forever. That's great. I mean, 1 page has been fantastic. Of course, it'd be amazing if we could get more done. You know that, but
I'm getting quicker on this page versus like the absentees, because like the absentees, it was like a straight up 8 or 9 hour page.
Yeah.
These pages seem to take about 4 to 5, so it's almost half the time of absentees. So it's not as bad. But the absentee pages also have probably 3 pencils worth of lead on each one. I mean, there's just those pages were stupid detailed. But so yeah, we'll see. Like the next couple pages, like I said, it's gonna be easier. It's gonna be like copy panel 1 pages and things like that. So I might be able to get through a lot of it. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so you're not going to do anything this week. I get it. You're going to be super lazy laying on the beach. I mean, you way to just brag. Way to brag about how I don't get to go to the beach with you. So I guess I'm invited to the beach is the thing that's happening this week. So I'm going to the beach. Yeah, so, all right. Well, thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate all of you. If you're only listening to the podcast on one of the several podcasting apps, please contact us on Twitter at twitter.com/wehaveissuespod and let us know, what you like about our podcast and what you're doing. If you're making any comments, let us know. We'd love to read them. We actually have talked to people on Twitter recently about joining our podcast as guests next year. And we're going to be contacting people probably around February or so to start having guest spots on the podcast. So I'm excited about that. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love your comments and everything. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/wehaveissuespodcast. Steve and I appreciate the crap out of all of you. You're really amazing. And we know that the thing we're doing is kind of weird, especially last week was bonkers. But thank you for joining us along with this silly journey. Let us know what you think and how we're doing. Thank you so much. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard, and we hope you have a happy new year.
Well, have the best of the year. Have the best New Year, everyone. I'm Ant Wildcard. No, I can't.
I'm Anthony. Hello.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You should.
Yes, I should. Goodbye. You hear him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is my mic picking it up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, Chase is losing it. Chase is losing it. Hold on. Huh? Chase is like absolutely emotionally devastated, and Cambria's not even. Huh? What's happening?
Oh my God.